Hello, my fellow Americans. I am George Washington, and I have a cautionary confession of jealousy and betrayal. The year was 1776, and I found myself at the helm of a revolutionary effort that would alter the course of history. As I stood in my camp at Hartford, the scent of roasted venison wafted through the air, mingling with the sweat and aspirations of my men. Little did I know that my day was about to take an unexpected turn, the kind of turn not found in the pages of well-scripted history. It was at that very moment, when the world seemed bright with the promise of our cause, that General Stark came into camp with an odd-looking Indian. To my surprise, it wasn't an Indian at all. It was Major Robert Rogers himself, old Waby Matahondo. His swagger shouted louder than the cannon fire we had become all too familiar with. A man of impressive stature, Rogers was the stuff of legends, and he could drink any man under the table. His exploits during the French and Indian War had made him a figure many revered, and I, George Washington, knew that this bold entrance was no mere coincidence. "General Washington," he proclaimed, bowing his head ever so slightly but unmistakably with an agenda in mind. "I've come to offer my services to your Continental Army." Ah, if only he knew the turbulent waters he was about to tread. In the game of military chess, a new player could tip the balance, and Major Rogers was notorious for his ability to capture the hearts, if not the lungs, of those savvy enough to follow him. I could see it all too clearly. Rogers, with his charm and experiences, could easily overshadow me and supplant my command. This was not merely a matter of pride. It was about the survival of a nascent army and its commander, myself. In my heart, the winds of jealousy howled. I knew the virtues of engaging new talent. The old adage, "two heads are better than one," was accepted wisdom. But when that other head is adorned with a more glorious past, it becomes a burden to bear rather than a boon to cherish. I had seen too many ambitious men rise only to burn like a shooting star, leaving nothing behind but a faint trace of their brilliance. How could I let Major Rogers, this illustrious menagerie of past deeds, mingle with the rabble of my own command? He would be a disaster for me that even I might end up under his command. "It's nothing personal, Major," I managed to say, keeping my voice steady, "but I'm afraid we can't have you joining our ranks." My heart sunk, feeling the weight of the decision. The Continental Army, nay, our revolution, requires loyalty above all else. Reality drizzled cold water on my hopes that wisdom would reign supreme in my choices. The embarrassment of rejection turned Rogers' auburn cheeks into a fiery crimson, brewing resentment that was palpably thick in the air. Yet, he left my camp with an air of dignity that belied his incensed spirit. I had effectively snuffed out a potential ally's glow, and I had no idea how he would choose to strike back. It was not long after our encounter that my fears manifested all too vividly. The name Nathan Hale echoed through the camp, a young man who had displayed unmatched bravery and zeal for our cause. He was an intelligence officer, too good for what lay ahead. Little did I know that my decision to deny Rogers would activate a chain of events that would alter Hale's fate forever. Rogers, nursing his wounds, opted for retaliation not just against me, but against Hale, the very spirit of our revolution. With unparalleled cunning, he orchestrated a betrayal most insidious. He hatched a devious plot, capturing Hale and delivering him to the British forces like a gift-wrapped present clad in treachery. It was a twist I never saw coming, the type that's often best depicted in plays. The irony, however, was no play. It was life at its most bitter cynical. Staring at Hale's gaunt face, I could hear his once proud voice respond to the gallows with a final declaration: "I only regret that I have but one life to lose for my country." His courage became a dagger that plunged into the heart of our cause, claiming the attention of our soldiers, who were left to reflect on the perilous path of betrayal. Nathan Hale's hanging was not merely an execution, it was a warning reverberating through the ranks of our struggle. I still blame myself for Nathan's death. My negligence in accepting Major Rogers was painfully solidified with the hanging of a valuable soldier. Each choice we make as leaders pricks our conscience. It is in those choices that the essence of fidelity, trust, and courage emerge like silhouettes in the smoke of war. I struggled to reconcile my actions that day. The choice to deny Rogers hinged on a fear that perhaps had been unwarranted. In the harrowing climb toward victory, we face rivals and ghosts that echo long after the echo of gunfire dies down. Ultimately, Rogers' revenge proved a considerable lesson, not merely a chapter in my own tale, but a cautionary narrative in the annals of war. Our revolution was still alive, brimming with ambition. It paved paths of bravery as well as routes of betrayal. Perhaps, if I had courted the idea of collaboration rather than competition, the ill-fated threads of destiny might have woven a different fabric for our nation. So here lies the reflection of a tumultuous time, one that speaks to the heart of leadership. Sometimes, it's not just about gaining the upper hand, but recognizing the souls intertwined in the fight for freedom. For, in the end, liberty demands voices that rise together, be they from generals or the humblest of soldiers.